What the fuck is up, y'all? It's your girl Nessa motherfucking Nandes, and you know we back on the motherfucking real, ratchet, and motherfucking reckless. I just want to let everybody know, thank you so much for coming back. Y'all already know it means a lot. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and do all that bullshit, and hit the link in the bio to find out everything about me. But look, I'm really excited, bitch, because y'all already know it is the most turned month of the motherfucking year, bitch. It is motherfucking Pride Month. I got a lot of bad bitches in this motherfucker, and we're gonna start to the left. Who to the left of me?
This is Missskay, you know, the one and only.
What we got over here?
Jasson with 2 S's, because I'm super sexy.
And who we got over here?
Hey, my name is Derek, otherwise known as Derrbearr.
Period. All right. Everybody get some horn. That means y'all doing a good job already. All right, y'all. I really want to tell you guys, thank you so much for coming. You guys don't know it means a lot. Look, just for the listeners, y'all know we keep it real on here. And we always keep it ratchet and reckless. Just for the listeners, one of my tias is a motherfucking drill team coach, and that's been her whole thing for the rest of her life till she died. And these beautiful ass bitches were on the teams as babies and as high schoolers, and then that's how we met. So I'm gonna start with Derek, boo. Okay, so oh my god. So we were babies. You were fucking cute and you were a fucking all-star. That's all I remember. Like, I just remember, okay, so just to go back, I was in Mitchell Torino with Ollie. She taught elementary drill team, and I was always the biggest bitch. So like, I was always tall. They're like, does this bitch even go here? So Ollie, they were like,
and you didn't. And you didn't.
So they're like, oh, we're gonna roll you onto like the big bitches. So it was like when we hit middle school. Yeah, so we hit middle school, and one of Ollie's best friends, rest in peace, Larry, the one and motherfucking only. Shout out to Larry. He was amazing. He was talented. He was beautiful, and he had his own team. And that's where I met Derek, and we was in Genuine Image. That was the name. It was this color. It was fuchsia. Our uniform. I still have my uniform. Do you have your uniform?
No, I didn't compete.
Oh, what happened?
I had to quit before we got
it's because Derek was an all-star. Like, you was lucky to have Miss Derek and the team. I remember there was like, are y'all gonna practice? Because he's only here for practice. Like, he was like the bad bitch of the team. And mind you, I was just some regular ass bitch. But I literally remember you like with your needles, and I'm like, who is this motherfucker? Where the fuck am I? Like, do I even qualify? But do you remember that? Do you have one memory of like Genuine Image?
That practicing outside.
Really?
When we practiced outside during the summer.
Mayberry was like always in the gym, and we kind of had to take, right?
But in summer before we started, we were outside in the
like in the
lot.
front, no?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I remember when we used to run laps.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so that's where I met Derek, and then I think it went on from there because you literally stayed really close to Ollie forever. Shout out Miss Torres. And then we moved on to high school, and this is where I met these little bad bitches. Jasson, I always remember you being extra.
Was I
Yeah,
really?
he was always like, everywhere you go, he's like... Like, hitting the splits at Missskay, bitch. You know what? I have a quick question. I don't know if this ever came up, but like, did you ever have a time where you were gonna join like the hip hop? Because I always feel like you always had that. Like, every time we would talk, it'd be like you knew the ratchet shit, and like I love hip hop. Like, I love drill team, but I really did it for like my Theo and stuff. But like, I really love hip hop, and I used to like be at Ollie's practice looking at King Hip Hop. Like, I wanna. Like,
honestly, you know what it is? Like, I've always done hip hop, but I saw like military drill as something a lot more challenging. That was my thing. Like, I was like, you know, I could shake my ass, do all of that.
That's
but
true.
To me, it's just like military drill. To me, it was just more so like,
and intimidating.
It's a lot more intricate. It's a lot more detailed. It's just a lot of things that go hand in hand to it. That just was a lot more challenging to me.
Yeah. So these bad bitches are dancers, right? Y'all dancers. What kind of dance do you do, Jerry? Because, okay, so let's dive in a little bit into what these bad bitches do so you guys get to know them a little bit. And we'll start with Derek just because you have a lot going on. And I feel like you hit something so amazing that everyone knows you've been wanting and finally got to accomplish.
Graduate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Period. Okay.
Right?
Finally
Let me
graduated.
give you a little...
Yeah, I just graduated almost a month ago from Cal State Long Beach, getting my BFA in dance.
Dude, I remember applying there, and I don't know why I already knew they were going to reject me because LBC is really hard to get into.
It is hard to get into.
Did you get in your first try?
I got in originally back in 2016, and I couldn't stay because it was too expensive. So
you didn't get financial aid?
No, not the first time. And so I waited a couple years. That's when I went to go coach at King, and then I took a break, and then I was like, I want to go back. So I applied on the very last day that they're taking applications, and I got in again.
Yes.
So I got to finish it
So
finally.
right now, just so people know, yes, congratulations. Just so people kind of get to know a little bit, like exactly in what you graduated in, like what does that hold for your future, like for your goals?
Well, it's a good stepping stone because I'm going to go back in a couple of years to get my master's, so I can become
in the
a professor.
same. Oh my god,
Yeah.
that gave me chills. Ooh, that's amazing, Gary.
Yeah. So I mean, there's choreography components, there's dance components, performance. There's so much things that they offered me at that school that like I'll never ever be able to do anywhere else. I don't think.
Are you serious?
So I'm so grateful. Yeah.
And I love that because you actually get to do what you love. I literally met you and you were already doing what you love, you know? So it feels good to finally have all of you guys here. Like, oh my God. I was like, I know this is going to go so good because I know all of you individually. And you guys have a little special place in my heart just because we kind of grew up. Like we saw like, and everyone kind of went their own way, but it's like, I will never forget you guys. And I'm like, okay, so I've been all over the place, but I'm like, bitch, it is Pride Month. Like I have so many like badass just people in the gay community around me, and I'm just like, bitch, like, and I just feel like there's just way more personality, you know? So thank you for coming again. Jasson, you want to give the listeners a little bit of who you are because you're a little bad bitch too.
Am I?
Yes.
No, I'm a lot more calm
Tell us.
now.
Okay.
Now.
I mean,
Or at
we
least
all
trying to
we're all
be.
trying. You know,
Now.
we're hitting that little stepping stone where we
Yeah.
like, okay, bitch, look, like you, because we'll get into the ratchet stuff. Because we were just talking about that with my brother earlier, like just getting drunk and being ratchet. It is fun as fuck, but then shit goes down and you're just like, okay, I'm about to be 28 in a little bit, so I'm just like, bitch, I'm about to be
No,
30.
yeah.
I can't be acting like this.
No, every year.
I feel great.
No, I'm
but what I'm
just-
saying is like I can't be acting like when I was 22 and
No,
23 and
right,
shit.
right.
Like it's
Right.
cool to get ratchet, but at some point like you could really go to jail.
Right.
Because I've been there, you know. Look at this much time. Okay, so tell me a little bit about the listeners, what you do, where you are now, and how do you still try to like keep in still pushing like what you love to do? Because I know you still do what you love.
Right. Well, I would consider myself mostly a youth worker. I
Okay.
love working with youth in any shape, way, or form. And just right now, I love also dancing. So I'm lucky to have moved back to the city that I was born and raised in after moving to San Francisco for 4 years, then going to Boston for like 2.5 years. I did my
Yes.
teaching thing out there. I went from making like no money the first year because I was doing an AmeriCorps program. For everybody who doesn't know what AmeriCorps is, it's the Peace Corps version of America. So I did a AmeriCorps, and they taught me a lot of stuff about education, and I learned to value education. As a kid, I didn't really value education. I was like, fuck this, I'm gonna be a dancer.
Same, yeah.
Like, I love to dance. That's what I do. That's what I do. That's what I do. And then going to Boston, I say there was life before and after AmeriCorps. And after AmeriCorps, I became more in love with education. You know, like education is elevation, the Conscious Lead, check them out on TikTok. It's just something that I really value now. And I love that I got to go through that journey. And now I'm back in LA in my roots. And I'm able to combine both of my passions together, which is working with youth in education and working with youth in dancing aspect. So I'm doing that now. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
And you're so good at it. I feel like, but just I have a quick question. Don't mind the fireworks. We're in the hood. Y'all already know how that go.
That's good.
It's not even 4th of July. I hate it because it's like they do it before 4th and then after. Like it's embarrassing. Like somebody go get your man and tell him to keep applying to them other jobs. Like really. Jace, I had a really quick question. You say like, oh, you fell in love with that. So was it like? Let me wait. And the windows? Oh no, the windows open.
Yeah.
Twerk to everything.
They're just really excited we're here. I'm just.
Yeah, that's
They say
right.
motherfucking Pride
You're
Month.
right. Exactly.
Celebrate
Okay, no, I have a question because you said that you really didn't like education growing up. So what was it in the way, like they were educating you like dance wise? Like what do you mean in a way that they made you appreciate education? Because I'm still looking for something that's going to help me appreciate it.
Right.
Like look, this sounds so terrible. I hate learning. And it's annoying, but like this shit I had to learn because I want to do it. But
Right.
even learning all this stupid shit, like whatever, it's still stupid sometimes. Like even that frustrates me and I want to give up so quick. So what do you think was it about that? Like what they do? What was the magic?
I guess because I had to tap into different personalities because every kid has a different personality, right? So I had to be able to just say, okay, what's gonna work for this kid that's gonna make him do his work.
Oh, for sure.
Or their work, right? So then I had to do that for myself. So a lot of youth work is a lot of you work. So I had to do that mirror work and be like, okay, let me see, where do I fall short? My timetable sucked. And I was in a 5th grade classroom my first year. These little kids would let me have it. We would play this game.
They read you, girl.
They more than read me.
Are they like, Mr. Why it took you so long to say 5 times 5? Like,
right. I was like, 8 times 6.
Fingers?
No, yes, it was ridiculous.
I still do.
So having them have so much fun just playing games. Again, it was the teacher that was there, Miss Colon. I love you. She's part of our family too. She has a wife and she has 2 kids.
Yeah.
So it was really nice to have her as a mentor as well.
I love that.
So I think that also had a lot to do with me valuing. I don't necessarily. My motto is, my mission statement is, we learn from each other, we grow together, and we shine always, right? That's something that I developed while I was out there. But I'm not going to sit here and say that I love to just grab a book and learn, you know?
Right? Do you guys read? Well, I know you read. You have to graduate, huh?
I read that.
Just a little bit.
Dude, it's just like, yeah, like, look, this sounds terrible, but like, do y'all read? Because like, everybody's like, you just got to pick up a book. And I'm like, bitch, you know how...
Nah, bitch, I'm a visual learner.
Yeah, I was never
Yeah,
a fan of
visual.
books.
Thank you.
Right.
Well, you guys visual arts.
I need to be hands-on. Like,
Yeah,
I need to see shit.
for it to
Tactile,
stay
yeah.
in, right?
You just gotta learn what works for you, and that's how I learned to value.
Yeah.
You know, whatever works for you, make it work, and then that's how you learn to value education.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you, because I worked with kids for a while, and that was one of my favorite jobs. We were talking about customer service earlier. Oh my god, I hate working with adults. Like with adults, it is what it is. Like that's what you're gonna get. Like with kids, like you see the progress, you see them. You know, oh miss, they said hi today when they were being a little rude bitch the other day. So you see them improving. Adults, kind of, it is what it is. But one thing that I did learn, I like that you said that, Jasson. Like, oh, see how I'm teaching them? Like that's how I could teach myself. I never thought about that. But when I was working with kids, like when I would meet the parents, I'm like, oh, it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. So then I started like reflecting on my upbringing. How you know when you thought growing up at home, you thought that shit was normal. Dude, that's why some of my mama like, sorry, but y'all was always drinking and driving, like, and so I was like, they see me rolling, and like it felt so normal. And it's like, as terrible as it sounds, people will be like, oh my god, like, you know, the Karens will comment or whatever when we're famous. They'll be like, how can like she talk up there and be like, oh, but it's like that's our culture. Like culture, it sounds terrible, but that's what y'all doing to us. All the poor people, we do bad decisions because y'all keep us poor. So we make bad decisions sometimes, and we don't know that we could go to jail for them, right? So working with the kids did teach me to reflect on how I grew up. I love that. So shout out to you for giving back to the youth, because that is one of my goals, to give back to these baby kids like down the block. So Missskay,
what's good, baby?
So tell me how all your little talents, how they transition into who you are today.
Honestly, I've always been.
Oh, you good, baby? You smoking that shit without me? Pass that shit.
Is it that good, baby?
Yeah. You imagine he's like, fake bitch. Just kidding. Okay.
All right. So honestly, I feel like everybody can relate. We all are very, very expressive. Dance have really shaped and formed. Like, I've always been the type to be myself no matter what.
Well, y'all performers.
Exactly.
I mean, including myself. I'll be just putting up front now. Like, we're performers.
Oh, really? So I feel like it's very natural for us to, just come out and just be ourselves, because it's just like we do what we do, and people are always watching, because, I mean, we damn bad bitches, baby.
You always watching, bitch.
So I feel like that's always come natural. So it's just like a different perspective when it comes to like going back to the kids. It's just very different when it comes to like, I've always been this way. But to me, the way I see it, like me being myself, to me feels very, very normal. Yeah, but to other people, it's just like, some people do not get actually to live an authentic real life. And then to see like me just being myself, I can, go to day-to-day basis, and I'm like, I am who I am, but not a lot of people can say that. So me being kind of like an example or a role model, to me, it's just like, it's crazy, because I myself, people are like, you don't know how like brave you are for who you are. And to me, it's just like, bitch, I'm just running down the street with my hoops and some makeup. What's good?
And your outside, period.
So to me, it is what it is. Like, it's just like, I am who I am. But to other people, it's just like, no, that shit's like badass fuck glasses. It's amazing. Yeah. So to me, being expressive throughout like my whole years, I've always danced since I was a kid, and growing up to like, self-express and just being in the arts and just being involved with people who are also related to the expressive arts.
Yes.
It's just like a whole community that just brings us together. And then it's just like, you fucking with your people, like that's you, that's the art. So from that point, like, it just comes naturally when it comes to you just growing. You may not be the same person, obviously, from yesterday.
No.
But, you know,
I made some mistakes last night, but, you know.
I mean, it is what it is, baby.
You know, we ain't go back.
We live and we learn.
We ain't go back. Yeah.
But, you know, every day you learn. And I feel like it's just, your bitches are going to ride with you. I feel like, you know, a perfect example for us. Like, we just always been the expressive people. And every day we may not be the same person, but we're always growing. But we're always supporting each other. That has really kept it, like, pushing for me, because it's so much like amount of love and support for from everybody that's has really shaped me for who I am today, for sure.
I love that, and I think that that's really important. Like, I feel like we're always saying be you, be you, be you, but the world is cruel, and we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. It's really cruel, so it is brave of you, and I'm the same way, and I feel like we can all kind of relate. We've always kind of been out there, right? But there's always like that little voice in your head sometimes, like, maybe I shouldn't do this, maybe I shouldn't say this, you know?
Yeah.
So it is brave of us, because there's people that are just gonna talk shit, and we gotta learn. Because you know what I was thinking today when I was driving? So random. I was driving and I thought about Meg, you know, thought shit. Did you guys hear that? That was amazing, right? And I can't believe people really came for her about, like, the whole Republican Party came for her, like, for what she was doing, like, who she was. I mean, at the end of the day, people will always be mad at the truth, and that's on period. So they mad about the truth, but I'm like, and I know that it gets to celebrities, like, people talking bad about them, but I was just driving and thinking, like, see, Meg needs to think about the people like me that are just driving and thinking, like, well, she still did that. Like, that shit is still bomb, but I don't comment about it. So I was thinking that, like, I feel like hate always stands out. We're always like, oh, fuck the haters, right? But I think it always stands out because the haters cannot shut the fuck up. Like, they feel so irrelevant that they want to be known. You know, we could go in about haters. Like, it's really a disease, and it's really sad. And I always say, get well. But, like,
get well, baby.
Yeah, like, get well, baby. Because, like, I'm living my beautiful life. But what I'm saying is, like, we need more. And as because I feel like when you're a positive, good person, you're just good. You don't need to show the world. You don't need to comment. But I'm like, in some cases, that would make such a huge difference, because so many negative people are constantly commenting. But the reality is, like, all the good people aren't. So for anybody that's going through shit like that or can't be themselves, like, remember that there is a lot of people that aren't speaking up that support you. Because, I mean, sometimes you just, like, I'm that type of bitch. Like, I'll be like, yeah, I fuck with it. I don't have to talk about it. I don't have to comment. Like, you know? So always remember that even though hate, like, stands out, there is so much. I'm a believer. I mean, I believe in God. So I have faith, and I always feel like there's always more good than bad. It's just not out there. You don't see it. It's not popping, you know? But just to connect everything right back up here, Missskay said something really important that I feel like it's so true. Like, it is brave to be yourself, Missskay. Like, that is a big deal. Not so long ago, the whole thing went down with the whole Hollywood thing that got fucking crazy, and that was ugly. You know, that was really ugly, and it's scary that people. I always say this, like, if you're really mad about something, it's because deep inside, like, you want that life. Like, deep down,
100%.
you want to be that.
100%.
How do you feel about that? Because, look, with the hate in general, safety-wise and just dangerous, like, Missskay, just to connect it back, like, do you think about these things? I'm sure you fucking do all the time.
Like, every time.
Because where you live around that, like, Hollywood area still,
yeah,
but still.
Sure. I mean, every time, honestly, anytime I step out the door, it's just like guard up for sure. Like, I don't trust nobody. It is what it is.
You walk
like,
with your fist like this. I walk with my fist like this all the time, no matter what.
I have
Be ready.
Taser. Like, it is what it is. Like, it's just something.
It's reality.
It's reality. You can't avoid it. You just got to walk around and guard up, because you have haters that are just not accepting of bullshit. And then no matter what it is, it's just like that not accepting can turn very, very violent. And so in that case, it's just like, you just got to stay very, very guarded and just know who you with. That's why every time I do go out, I do be asking, like, my friends, like, if we're gonna be going out in certain areas,
who's gonna be there? Yeah, exactly.
Who's gonna pull up? Because I mean, when it's friends, it's like, you know, you're
comfortable,
exactly.
safe.
But then when people start inviting people, you know,
you don't know how they feel about
exactly.
Okay.
You don't know how they gonna react, and it's kind of just like, well, I don't know. One, you're thinking like, oh, well, I don't know if they know. One, and then two is just like, well, if they know, are they cool with it? Because then at that point, it's just like, it's uncomfortable for them, it's uncomfortable for me, and why am I gonna try to be in the same room with somebody who's not gonna be accepting of me? It's just very, very awkward. Besides it being dangerous, it's just very fucking awkward. Like, who's gonna want to be in the same room with that type of energy? Like,
but you know what also kind of bothers me is, like, you think about these things as like, okay, do I really have to, like, even mention it? Like, right?
No,
the fact that you even have to mention it, like, oh, because I'm thinking, like, oh, if you're not cool with somebody, you know, like, oh, is that little bitch Felicia going? Like, I don't want to go if that bitch is going. But it's like, it's not even like that. It's on a sense like, oh, well, my friend, like, how do you, like, why do you even have to explain that? You feel me? Like, that's
my friends don't explain because I'm like, you don't need to explain.
You don't need to do that to people.
Don't do it for me. If people
like,
want to ask, then cool, ask.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just like, I don't need
a heads up. Like, what are you gonna say? Like, if you fucking homophobic as fuck, like, oh, I just want to let you know, like, where you're about to go, like, you're gonna meet someone.
It's unnecessary.
Yeah. Okay, I have a quick question. I just thought about that because everybody always says this. Like, people always assume because you gay that they want to fuck with you. I have a bunch of gay friends. Look, and y'all know that. And it's so funny because it's like people try to treat it like it's so different. It's the same like when you straight. Right. Like, I'm sorry, but I feel like guys are just something else too though. Like, straight guys are just like, they hear you laughing and they're like, oh, she want my dick. Like, she want it. And I'm just like, I just thought your friend was funny and he will never get it. So it's like, so I always feel like guys can always be like that. Like, they think like, oh, and you know what? I thank God, I really do, that everyone I've been around has never really been homophobic. Like, all friends are straight guys, or even I have a lot of gay friends, and it's like even my girls, my bitches, like they'll hug me or they shake my chi-chis, and it's like, it just don't, like, you know, people would think like, oh, well, like if you're dating someone, like, okay, she just always grabs your tits, and it's like, yeah, but she's gay. Okay, she gay. Okay, like I feel like they always assume like she gonna grab my chi-chis. Like, it's not like that, and I feel like it's a boundary. It's a respect. It's at the end of the day, like, if you respect and you have boundaries, I think that's all they should worry about, right? Because I don't know if you guys have experienced that, where it's like, you think I want you, bitch, like I just came for the pizza.
Well, this is every fucking time.
Like, I heard it with Shakey's and I came for the pizza and the mojos.
You know what it is? Like, the guys be having mad egos.
Yes.
It be mad egos.
Is
and,
it?
you know, I just humble the fuck them down, honestly. I just need to tell them, I'm like, ain't nobody want you, period. It is what it is. It's just like, even when I like do interact with some of these guys, it's just like, I can't have that interaction because they're automatically thinking I'm like hitting on them. And they hit me with like, oh, nah, this is them, right? Nah, bro, like I'm straight. And it's just kind of like, okay, cool.
Okay, yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool.
Oh, I'm gay. Like, okay.
And I'm like, okay, bitch. Like, okay, cool. And it's just like, that conversation is just so, like, it's irritating because it's like, what you need to tell me for? I didn't ask you for your sexuality to begin with, babes. It is what it is. And then two, it's just like, if I wanted to hit on you, my approach would be very, very different.
Right.
And if that was the
case, would feel it.
Of course. But then me just having a cool, calm, collective conversation, they automatically think I'm hitting on them. And it's like, baby, humble yourself down because it's not the case, okay? If I wanted it, I already got it, okay?
I fucking love it. Derek, I have a question for you just because I know like you're a bad bitch. You know, Missskay, but yeah, I'm a bad bitch. Missskay a little bad bitch too. But I would feel because you Missskay honestly, Missskay, like, bitch. I'm just like, every motherfucker would be like, okay, bitch, so like really it don't matter what's going on, bitch, let's go to the room. But like, Derek, as a gay man, right? Okay, first, how does everybody identify before I fuck any of this up? Or do you guys even identify?
Well, I'm
Latinx.
I'm a cisgender woman. I'm an ally, baby.
Okay. Let's get it. Derek, Jace, just so I don't fuck any of this up.
Well, I use pronouns he, they, and I'm currently going through my gender identity. I'm not sure what I am. I don't consider myself a cisgendered male.
Okay.
I just don't identify with that. I never really did. I didn't know there was a name for it. I didn't know you can be non-binary. I didn't know.
Yeah, stop it, machito.
I know you can be anything else. You know, a couple years, I might discover that I'm trans. I don't know.
Literally.
Yes. But I think that's the beauty about shit like that. Like, you can be whoever the fuck you want to be.
Gender's a journey and also gender's a construct. So.
Yeah, right.
No, really though. That's how I was. You know, back then I was allegedly a homosexual male. Allegedly, right? But
homosexual? I never heard of one of those before.
But you know, honestly, that's what I used to think I was, and I said I'm never gonna be no female, blase.
Right.
Like, and then maybe 360, I just started getting to know more of myself.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, you kind of just grow into who you are, right? And I think that's what it's all about, like finding yourself, right?
100%.
Because you have this shit engraved in your head that you're supposed to walk like this, talk like this, and it's like blocked, right?
Here's the thing: there's societal constructs that have taught us for years. Well, the colonizers taught us that you have to be two things, boy or girl. And it's like, okay, well, that was never the case because there's so many different cultures where it's like two-spirited. You can, like, the gender was never really a thing. You just were who you were. And then on top of that, you were straight or gay. And it's like, you can be these two things, but one of these is good and one of these is bad. You can, and straight should be the good thing and gay is the bad thing. And then, like, they never really talked about transgendered or queer or non-binary, anything like that, because it wasn't in their beliefs, you know. So these continued systems of oppression are constantly telling us, don't be yourself, don't be yourself, don't be yourself. And the second that we are being ourselves, we get shit for it, and it's a problem. But it's like, no, we were fine.
No,
we're fine. We're fine who we are.
The problem.
It's
That's
like
the
we're unlearning. We're discovering these things about ourselves.
Oh yeah,
and
for sure.
we're not going to stay in this
Lane.
society that you want. No,
motherfucking box.
I love
I'm
that.
not staying in this white system.
Yeah.
Period.
Do you have that issue though? Where guys always thinking you hitting on them? Hey, Derek, because you cute.
Nope.
You cute as fuck. You guys are all so cute. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so happy none of us turned out really ugly. That would have been awkward, right? Like,
She said
okay.
you wouldn't be in here.
Yeah, but like, hold
Happened a
on.
lot in high school. Oh my God.
Really?
All the time in high school. Because like I was just authentically myself. In high school.
yourself.
I didn't give a shit about anything.
Yeah.
And then I always be like, oh, like, get away. And I'm like, I don't care.
Really, though.
I don't like you. I don't even want to talk to you. You're just in my vicinity right now.
Uh-huh.
But it
My
sucks that it
presence,
becomes
baby.
like something you gotta be mindful about. Like I can't, right? Like I can't be too funny because this motherfucker really gonna think.
So let me just
And in
shut
high
up.
school is like when you're kind of also still finding yourself. Like you have
Yeah.
friends. I found out I could make people laugh in high school, and I couldn't shut the fuck up even if I was being rude. You know,
Yeah.
I had a voice, but I hadn't found my voice yet, and I was just being abrupt because I thought that's what people like. Like, oh fuck it, I'll get a fail because everybody thinks I'm funny. Whatever, for funny, you know. But like, so then you start thinking. So I'm sure, like, not to compare, but like, if I was already thinking about things, like I'm sure these are things in such a young age. Like you really gotta think. Like I gotta watch myself because people are really gonna think negative of me because it's seen negative. You know. Oh yeah, let's not get into high school.
Chills.
Yeah, like
It was
really
funny.
time.
High school for me, it was just like a great fucking time.
Really?
A great fucking time. I didn't have no hard time, but you know, it is like
I think because like you mentioned, you've always just been yourself and you weren't scared.
But even then, like when I did have my homies, they, you know, other guys would be like, "Oh, why are y'all so close?" It was always a problem, and it's just like, "Oh, y'all fucking with each other then," and it's kind of just like, "What?
I mean, we
what you
can,
mad
but
jealous?
yeah,
like,
like,
you want
no.
some? You can let me know."
Yeah.
But it's just like situations like that. It's just like even if there was a friendship, it's just always questioned.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, wait, low key though, have y'all really ever fucked like somebody y'all was really best friends with? Y'all can say skip. Yes or no question. Like somebody that you really thought like it would never cross the line and then it did cross the line.
Oh, 100%.
Oh yeah.
Right? Okay, yeah, me too. Okay, yeah, me too. Jace?
I don't know. I'm trying to think about it.
Baby.
Pass some of the chips.
I'm just gonna say yes.
Oh, why?
No,
Don't be
I was
pressured.
just
kidding.
Pass it. That's it.
No, because I feel like that's something I would do.
No, because
said straight
honestly,
to the
I've legit
point.
have like exes, and I'm like, I swear we were just friends, but then something happened, and then we did fuck around.
You know
and like
what?
years later, I'm like, you were right. Like we did end up fucking around.
Oh, there was this one time I went to a party. And me and this dude, we went into the room and then we came out of the room. So people just assumed that we did something.
What were y'all doing in the room then?
I mean,
Tying each other's shoes?
We were gonna,
Adjusting lipstick?
but what had happened was I got nervous.
So you were gonna do something.
Yeah.
So technically they were right.
Oh, fuck.
Technically.
I guess.
Yeah, like you technically went in with the intentions to fuck around.
Yeah, I think he wanted more than me. And then I was like, oh, okay, I need to wait. I want to take my time. Like, what if I like this guy? You know, I wanted to be a different kind of gay, you know, because the gay community were known to be very,
Okay, yeah.
which
yeah.
we're not.
No, I know. I wanted to get into that because people just
Right.
assume y'all,
Right,
like
right.
really, like
Well,
oh y'all
I didn't
fucking
wanna fall
everybody,
into
y'all
that.
fucking anything.
Maybe.
No, maybe
Maybe. I mean, comes around.
because I
But
feel
of
like.
course, I have my whole phase, like everybody does.
Oh,
You know? You
yes.
need to get that out of your system.
And you know what? Let's talk about the whole phase because I want to get into that. Let's talk about that. Let's really because look, it is,
Tap in.
dude. I saw this fucking.
Tap
Little,
in,
I saw. So I saw this TikTok that was like, everybody's like, all of a sudden like hoe is trending, but it's like, bitch, I've been started like 2008, like cause it was true. Like growing up, you knew who the hoes were at the school, right? Like you're like, oh, she a hoe.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh, that bitch, yeah, she a hoe.
She ran through.
But because we all had like our parents. But the moment like that went away, like you go to college, you get older, you could be whipping or one of your friends is whipping. Y'all just anywhere, anytime. And I feel like the whole phase is still kind of looked down on sometimes. Because somebody asked me, somebody posted it and was like, oh, I'd rather like my daughter not have a whole phase because like I would rather her talk about it, right? Like blah 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 blah.
You can do both.
Yeah, like like cause it's like nothing changes, and it doesn't. That's true. It doesn't. Being a hoe, whatever. It doesn't. And being a hoe means doing what you want. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it's really doing what you want for just women in general. Like it was shunned on to like be seen. Even to this day, I really feel personally like the whole phase really helped because I did it in the wrong time. I feel like sometimes, I don't know if you guys can relate, it comes in a dark time.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was just fun for you guys, but for me, it was like a dark time. Like, I'm going through some shit. The person I was with, it was not working out. You know that song, I might as well have cheated on you. So say less. Like, after that, we broke, and I just was doing me. And doing me was so much fun. Like, I met so many people. That's how I get to date a baby daddy, a cholo. Like, I got to do a little bit of everything. Even though it didn't work out, I don't regret it. Those are motherfucking memories. I'm about to be 30 in about 2 years and a half. And I'm like, I could die today and be very happy with my little whole life. And I really feel like it did help me move on a little bit, but it didn't help like the inner. But it helped me move on. And I'm like, when you see yourself, you never thought you'd see yourself without that person. Well, being a hoe my whole life, literally, it helped me like realize like, oh girl, there is so much more out there. I don't know if y'all can relate. What y'all think?
100%.
Jason, you looking real hoish over there. He like real quiet, like the shy hoe.
The shy hoe?
I am shy, but not in bed.
Oh.
The freak comes out, honey.
Okay.
You had a whole face?
Yeah.
How long did it last too?
It's on and off.
It's still lasting.
It's still lasting. No, that's why I say it's on and off.
Okay.
So like, I think right now I'm back on. Like, I need to get back on.
Hey,
I need
the door dashing. Time to ride.
Right.
Time to ride. Trying to deliver.
Right. I think I want to get back on it because I find myself very sexually frustrated and I just need to fuck some ass. It's fun. Sex is so good.
Well, yeah, isn't it like what does it say?
Sex positive.
You went to college. You went to Yo, yeah, bitch, you graduated too. You graduated,
No.
Me neither. Okay, so let's ask the doesn't it release like endorphins or something?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like a stress reliever.
It is. Yeah.
You paid attention.
Yeah.
You paid attention.
She paid attention to the shit she wanted.
I'm going to sex psychology class.
Yeah. You're right. So yeah, definitely, yeah. It is a stress reliever. I feel like that's why they call it makeup sex, because it's just like you getting on my nerves. Shut up, like and then it's like, what do you want for dinner, honey? I'll cook. What about you, Derek? Oh, so your whole phase is still lasting.
Eat the fish.
We got to press pause. Play again.
And do you feel like it helped?
There's been times where it has been bad. Yeah, there's been times where like irreversible damage has been done.
Oh wow.
Put it that way. Yeah.
Deep.
Damn, that's deep.
Deep.
Hey, on to the next one.
But hey, we're gonna go back.
Yeah, well, I'm happy to hear that because at the end of the day, like I really feel like we're young and there is no problem like experiencing or experimenting what you want.
We're still learning.
Like, imagine, you know how they say, oh, no sex till marriage? Imagine that.
I don't want to get married. So
What
am I going to do?
Imagine like you fall in love and then it's like, okay, baby, the night is here. And he's like, and you like,
Nah, I gotta make sure.
the fuck I'm gonna do with this? Pick my nose?
Ooh.
Imagine that. So fuck all that. Derek, what about you? Same.
Like right before I turned 20 into my early 20s. And I think it stemmed a lot from not having like successful relationships like in high school because I had like one little stupid boyfriend.
Everybody had a little high school sweetheart.
Unfortunately.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, stupid.
Very stupid.
And it just ended
Too
poorly.
young.
So I just felt like, there's a lot of trauma behind that. So I think I just like didn't have anybody for a couple of years. Didn't feel like anybody wanted me. So I was like, well, I'm just gonna like
see what I could pull.
Yeah, and I was just doing it for like years. And luckily I was safe. Luckily, I'm fine. The one boyfriend I had in my 20s, which was on and off for almost 4 or 5 years, happened through a hookup. Like we were best friends prior, and then one night we just got too drunk and we hooked up, and
it became a relationship.
It just became a relationship from then on.
I love that. So it was a friendship before you guys. How was that?
It was interesting. It was weird. It started off really weird, but then it ended up being really great, and then it ended up being really rocky, and then we were just on and off for a couple of years, and now we're good friends still, and like we understood that about each other. It's like we started weird, but yeah. That's
is it still like you believe that like you guys could really be good friends without like that little saying donde hubo fuego hay cenizas, where there was fire there's like ashes or something like that?
It's been fine, honestly. Because I was nervous about it at first.
Yeah. I feel like only white people could do that. I've always said that.
But we've been fine, honestly. And I think honestly we broke up like for the final time right before quarantine. And so that whole time
that's
away
important
from each
because
other,
quarantine was either good or toxic.
Yeah, so I was able to like release it throughout the whole quarantine, not think about him, not see him, not do anything. And out of that, we became friends, and we see each other all the time.
And y'all don't do nothing? Mm-mm. Don't be lying to me.
No, I swear. Because even before we would break up and then we would go back and we see each other. But now this time we see each other and we're
Oh, you in a zone.
I gotta focus.
Come on.
Oh, I love that. Well, good for you, Derek. So it worked. It had, like you said, it's good and it's bad. And
Yeah,
then
I
you
learned
got-
a lot. And that was my whole early 20s.
Same. Early 20s, like after 21, 22. Mm-hmm. What about you?
What about me, baby?
The whole life. Did you have a little? Huh?
I mean, I had a whole life twice because I was born into a new person. So
Oh, true. Hey, what does
You get
Drea
to
say?
restart.
Yeah, like Drea's like, your whole life could get erased and then restarted or whatever. You could erase your whole life.
I did. Honestly, you know what? It started like, when I started transitioning and all of that. Just getting, it sounds bad, but it's not getting the validation of a girl, like getting validated as a girl, what to me felt was like, okay, this is it. Like, this is right. Okay. So when it came to a guy like, okay, she a bad bitch, I mean, I already had that in me.
Period.
But it was just like getting that validation, like, oh, she's that bitch, and then knowing what I could pull. I was like, you know what? I was like, okay, this is what feels right. Because back then, when I was allegedly gay, it never felt right to me. It was just always like, yeah, I can get, but it didn't feel like, okay, like, it just felt very stagnant. It didn't feel right up until, when I started transitioning. It was just like, homies out here were just like, oh, is she a bad bitch? And it kind of was like, okay, this is what I've been missing. So when I did all of that, it was kind of just like, oh, I was having fun.
Yes.
Girl. Yeah. A great time.
But it's like those things too where you hold for applause. Period. It's those things too because when you're on the dating apps or whatever and like you feel like you have to like put up a front because like other guys are not gonna like you because you're too flamboyant, you're too femme, you're too this, you're too that, and so it's like,
is that a thing?
Yeah, it's like
very much so.
And they like say like what you're
What?
into and they're like, oh no, it's like the famous saying that they've been saying for years, like no fats, no femmes.
Oh, yeah.
But really it's like things like that. It's like where they expect something of you or like these guys, and it's like all these people who want to be themselves are on the dating apps and they're not being themselves because they want to pull whoever they want to pull. And it's like they're being fake and putting up a front. And it's like, so they're sort of just like social catfishing in a way, even though they look the same and everything like that, but their persona is different. And I feel that pressure too sometimes where I'm like, I have to like talk to them and be like, hey bro, what's up? Like I'm like, I just like, I feel uncomfortable doing it, but sometimes I'm like, I'm which is and I can't continue to perpetuate that though because I've been catching myself.
Actresses out here, okay?
I didn't even know that was
I
a
was a
thing.
theater major before a dance major.
Hey,
There we go.
Bachelor's in theater arts and
Okay,
dance.
wait.
We said Black Box Theater.
Before we finish your thought, you were gonna get into something good, but I do want to ask about the dating apps because that is a motherfucking topic. Because Jesus, but you were going. Okay, so that's something you used to think about too. So it's like you were looking for that validation. Then it was like, oh, bitch.
Yeah, and once I got it, baby.
Hey, you know, going big after
Hell
that.
no, but you know what? It taught me a lot because I dealt with so many different guys that I was just like, all of them are different. So each of them present something different at the table. I mean, different sizes, different lengths, all of that.
Girth.
But aside, exactly, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I know.
But all of that. Aside from that, I got to know them on a different level in the sense of like who they are and all of that. It kind of just structured what I was looking for and who, if I want to end up with, or something.
I know. Are you looking for something long term, Miss
You know
K?
what?
Just for the viewers and the listeners.
I mean, you know what? I'm at a place right now where I've gotten to know myself very well, and I'm still learning myself. I'm still getting to know
that.
myself. And what I tell to every guy who's trying to, get into my, in my aura and all of this shit, I tell them, I'm like, what is a journey? And I'm gonna need you to understand that it's a journey because I need to have a man that's confident in himself and not be worrying about the bullshit that I go through. So because they get judgment within them own selves because of being with me.
God.
So I need to let them know, like, hey, it's a lot. It's a lot. I know how to handle myself. Let's start there. But can you back up yourself too by being with me?
Well, because that's a whole thing. Like people, and I'm sure, I don't know if you guys fuck with guys that literally are low key as fuck and they want you to
They're
tell
everywhere,
nobody.
baby. They're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
But I don't do it because that's just toxic and within itself.
Yeah, I never do that.
Yeah.
I can never.
And
they're
are
always
they
like, no, I'm not
upfront
going to
ab-
share
well,
a
they're-
picture. I'm not going to do that.
They're
I'm like,
upfront about
I'll
it.
talk to you.
They're upfront about it, like,
I mean,
I
they
just
hit-
don't want
Because they
to.
hit you up without a picture, they hit you up with whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
or
there's
They just like
signs.
sit,
Yeah.
like they only have like a torso picture and they're like, oh, I got this. And I'm like, well, do you have a face picture? And they don't want to send them like, I'm sorry, I'm DL. I'm like, okay, well then have a good night. I'm not gonna talk to you.
Yeah.
It's like out of
it's a
my
waste
for
of
myself
time.
and for you. I'm like,
It's a
it's
waste of
also
time,
a
for
safety
sure.
issue.
Yeah.
Like I don't know who I'm gonna show up and see.
True.
If I ever go do that, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
It's dangerous in general, but
Yeah. But I live for the drive though. It's all good.
You little Oh, baby. Missskay. Dude, yeah, I didn't even think about that because I know that I've heard that, like, where it's like, okay, we can fuck around, but we got to keep it low key. Like, and it's like, and they got a whole ass wife, a whole ass baby mama.
100%. You know how many baby daddies?
Really? How do you feel about baby daddies? Because I had a terrible experience.
Baby daddies in general. I mean, you know, it's just
Would you ever date a baby daddy?
100%. I wouldn't mind it.
Wow, you nice.
Is it the DL question?
Oh, yeah, the deal question. So have you dealt with guys that like want to keep it down low?
He loves
In
those.
Boston.
He loves.
I love those. I've always loved them.
It's the adrenaline.
Yeah, like, I
I
got
pulled a
you.
straight guy. I pulled a straight guy.
It's
Like,
I'm
oh,
telling
like,
you, it's an
he's
ego.
probably
They just
into
wanna
me. He's
try.
probably into me.
It's an
Even though they
ego
won't
thing.
do it because it's too gay. Because
It's an ego thing.
looking gay guy on guy is like what? No one likes that in society. But you see two lesbians together. Oh, so sexy, so hot.
Fucking
Oh
hate
my
that.
god. Oh, so
my
sexy.
Double standards, yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Oh my God, the world's disgusting.
And then they turn to the left and they're getting the dick sucked
Just
behind
zoom
closed
in.
doors.
right?
Okay.
Exactly.
But with DL people, you can't go into it being like, it's pure sex. It's just sex, right? That's how I looked at it. That way, I
have
don't
you
get
guys
my
ever
feelings
fallen
hurt.
for a DL guy?
No comment.
No.
No, right? He said
I have.
he says he blocks them.
One time
he's
and one
like, you
time only.
leave, right?
I just say, yeah, no, thank you. Oh,
I feel like
thank you.
You just draw the line. You know where you stand.
Yeah.
Right, you need to, because or else you're the one that ends up getting hurt,
Exactly.
and I'm the one that's hurt.
Come here.
Okay, bitch.
So what happened? I mean, share a little bit. You don't have to share the whole thing, but like, what made you think that?
You can be off record.
Oh, be careful right there. What made you think like, okay, we're going somewhere? You can pour the rest of
I
that.
never thought we were ever gonna go anywhere. It just happened. It just
You
happened.
fell in love with him.
And I
Did
was,
you fall in love with him?
I wouldn't. I have love for him, but I don't.
I think it's care.
It could be that
Because
too.
I've been in a situation
could
where
be
I
that
really care
too.
for a guy, be like, you know what, I fuck with you.
Right, because they're so you see the good in them. Yeah.
But
I hate that. I see the good in you.
Oh, me too.
But they make a terrible decision. So where the good at?
that's some toxic shit.
I don't-
That is it. Period.
It is.
We're like, it's because he has a good heart.
And a
Right.
good
He
dick.
means well, but
No,
he
so
ain't
they
doing
don't got all that
And a
good
good
dick.
dick. No, I make sure, baby.
Really?
No. They do.
I make sure.
Get some chips. Y'all not hungry? I'm getting a little hungry, so we gotta speed this up. Okay. I'm getting real hungry. Okay, cool. Everybody chilling. Everybody good. We got beers in there if you want to do your michelada after that.
Yes.
And then I think we have White Claws if you guys want to. That's it for the Rat's juice. That was a
fine.
whole bottle of
That's
Patron,
fine.
by the way. The medium one. Okay.
All right.
Okay, yeah. So, what were we saying? Yeah, so you got your heart broken. That's what you get.
Right,
Fuck them
right.
DL boys. Fuck
No,
them.
it's gonna be the first time that I got my heart broken. But
I mean, if you're gonna tap into it, you gotta make sure you know mentally you're like, this is what it is, and you can't see any further than that.
I feel like-
Once you stop
Right.
running, you're fucked.
right, once
Gotta
you
cut.
You gotta
right,
make that. You know, I make that
because
line.
you know they're always
go
gonna
there.
go back to pussy.
Oh,
Period.
Period.
damn! I
That's
never had
it.
that experience before.
Me either.
Really? Well, because you don't let it go that
Strictly dick
far.
only.
No, I never
You
did.
know better.
Not that I know
It's
better.
hard.
Just, I don't want to put that pressure on anybody. Like you need to know better. Nothing like that. No.
We
just-
should though.
But I just don't. I'm like, it's not worth
You know,
my time.
it depends on the person too. Like if
That's
you can
self-love there.
handle it, then you can handle it. You know.
Okay, that's what I was telling Missskay earlier. I'm like, she's like, yeah, this is who I'm talking to. Oh, this and that. And I'm like, you don't like catch feelings? And she's like, no, like I set my mind, like, and I draw boundaries. And I think that as
Right.
an adult, it's really important to draw
Right.
boundaries because I suck at them.
As an adult and as people of the queer community.
Like you guys even saying that, like you know better.
Yeah, I have to. I didn't before, maybe, but like learned.
No, 100%. I mean, it is what it is. Like sometimes, like te gusta la mala vida.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
what it is. And then
Look at Jace. He said, right.
right.
He was allowed.
True story. My mom one time told me, "Do not touch the fire," and I touched the fire. Lesson. Long story
Not
short.
learned.
No, I learned my lesson, but I always learn a las malas.
Yeah.
You know.
and that's how some people learn.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Or they don't learn. They keep touching the fire.
No. no
So they become chicharrón.
Or chorizo.
Lo que te gusta.
I'm hungry, so don't say that. I thought about the real
Literally,
chorizo. I'm like, chorizos con huevo. Okay, one question. What is like the weirdest thing that someone has asked you during sex?
Somebody's mouth.
No, you're lying. Look at her.
not
Look at
lying.
her.
I shouldn't have said that.
Are you serious?
Hey,
Don't lie.
You too?
all I'm gonna say is
Yeah.
What do you look like?
Well, I heard it's a
San
thing.
Francisco got very expensive. That's all I'll say.
Period.
I get it. do what you gotta do.
Because rent was due the next day, so I was
What?
short, like,
Perfect timing.
$300.
Perfect timing.
And then I'm like, oh, I'll go over right now. And he's like, no,
Period.
come over tomorrow morning. Like, I want.
And
the
you're like,
morning
motherfucker, I need
shit.
the pay stub needs to be written by the morning.
Oh, he's very
He
specific.
wants it.
Wanted the morning, and I just
And he
sat
was
down on
underneath?
it, and boom,
Oh shit.
What? That's interesting. So it's his thing.
it was his thing. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
his little kink.
So like,
Damn.
And he ate it.
that's what I was about to
He
say.
ate it, and then I'm done.
He enjoyed it.
And then he still has it in his mouth.
I would.
And I'm like,
nah, I'm out.
I would puke.
I would walk out. I'd be like, all right, I did what I did. Peace out.
Pay me
I
up.
told him to
No,
spit
really
it out.
don't. Give me my money.
Like once I saw it, I was like,
No, I can't handle that.
but yeah, that's the
Dude,
worst.
that's the worst.
That's the worst I've done. Yeah.
Derek.
It wasn't even. No, I was thinking the worst. I don't think it's that bad. Honestly, it's nothing compared to that.
Yeah.
It was a while ago, and I was having sex with this guy, and then I was wearing the condom, and then afterwards
He's like, drink
held
it.
No, not me. But he was like looking at it like a little fucking kid, like so excited, like had it in his hand. He was like, "Can I like?" He's like, "I want to keep it." Oh my god, I can't wait to keep it for later. I'm gonna drink it later. And I was like,
That's psychotic.
and I was like, no. And I was like, no, give it to me. I'm gonna throw it away. And he
He's like,
literally-
give me, that's my baby.
No,
That's my baby.
no, I was literally like, give it back to me. He literally went, no, it's mine. It's mine. How you're mean. And I was like, walked up to him and I like grabbed that shit and I like walked out and I said
bad.
goodbye. I'm not. That's weird.
Oh my
so weird. And I threw it away.
God.
I held it all the way till I got home and threw it away because I didn't know where to put it.
You
I
don't know.
if he was
Yeah, because
following me
if
or
I drop
looking
it
at
now,
me.
he's gonna come sneak it. Miss K. I'm sure you got good ones.
What's
Look
the
at all these
question
little
again?
straight guys. What's the weirdest shit?
Not the weirdest shit, honestly.
No pun intended. Shit.
I don't do weird shit. I don't do weird shit, honestly. I just
No, like that they've asked you and you're just like,
some normal shit. It's like sucking my toes. I'm like, I'm not into that.
Cocaine.
Like, cocaine, not tip toes. Honestly, no, I haven't really experienced anything like weird. Actually, what has happened though with one of the straight guys, motherfucker's fine. So I say, baby, if you
Miss
into
K
it-
just be showing me pictures. I'm like, where you find them?
Right.
Like, what the fuck?
Well, it was kind of like in the moment we were both drinking beers and he was just pouring Corona. Yeah, it was.
Get a line.
Oh shit! I'll be like, okay, can you bring the white clothes? I think I'm too aggressive sometimes that they're even scared to ask me to do anything.
I
Because
feel
I'm
the same
not.
way.
I could be a little submissive, but like with people, I'm really comfortable with. I think the weirdest thing somebody ever asked me, and this is like the worst, and it's not even that bad. But he was like, "Can I just call you like a bitch and a slut?" Like. And I'm just like, oh my God, no. Like on feminine side, I'm like, how fucking dare you? Because it was coming from the person that I had like a lot of feelings for. I felt like, how could
you just-
Yeah.
Okay.
Fuck you, Derek. He's like, oh, like, no, fuck him too. I guess coming from him, I felt like, how could you? I thought I was your princess.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But that's the worst.
You're my princess and my slut.
Just don't pull my hair. One boundary. No, I'm just kidding. Jace,
Don't pull my hair. Don't call me a slut.
right?
I go crazy.
Get it.
Trying to be fun like a slut.
Y'all think about kids?
I want
Right,
kids.
I feel like
want
as we're
kids.
getting personally, I feel like as we're getting older, I'm realizing more and more, and I'm like, oh my god, like I'm not made. I mean, I could be, but like it's a lot of responsibility. I see it like
Yeah.
responsibility. Like
Yeah.
It
I got
is,
a
it
life that. But you know what? As a parent, you can be like give the best life, and at the end of the day, your kids are gonna just choose what the fuck they want to
I
do.
mean, you can look at it
Yeah.
my perspective of like something. It could be optimistic or pessimistic, but just the way that the world is going and the way that everything is, I don't want to bring a kid into the world knowing that there's going to be
All
eventually
this.
going into the turmoil, the hurt, all that. And it could be pessimistic, but I would rather not.
Yeah.
Deal with that.
And then also be responsible for that and knowing like I made the choice to bring you into the world, not you. You didn't want, you didn't know.
You didn't know.
Right? It's not saying I'm not grateful for life. I'm very grateful for life. I'm very grateful.
Of
I'm
course,
here.
you're here for a
That's your
reason.
truth. That's your truth.
But it's
that
been a rough upbringing.
it's rough upbringing, and I don't wish that.
I know.
And I don't like the societal pressures and anything that to go to another kid who
Exactly.
has to
Yeah.
go through that again. That's just me though,
No, I feel the same way.
and my mind could change.
Same.
Right.
Yeah. And you know what it is? Like, it just comes within the community too. It's just like, bitch, if you get married, you got lucky.
Right?
And it's the truth. It's
You got
facts.
lucky.
Right.
That's not luck. That's not like hell.
I mean,
Marriage, I'm sorry,
don't
but
wanna
have
get
y'all
married
seen the
either.
percentages? Like,
no,
marriages
it
is just.
dropping for
Good
sure.
for you.
But what
If
I'm
you wanna get
saying,
married, good for you. But
what I'm saying is like
Yeah,
a
same.
stabilized relationship. If you, that's
Oh,
what
stable.
You really
Yeah.
want.
got it.
Like the whole is it like monogamy or whatever? Like where
Just
you
one
just
and
you
one.
and one, yeah.
You know,
Oh, I'm with this person forever.
And marriage just mean like the
right.
government got you. Like we could have a
Yes.
whole marriage thing without even getting married. But it's also different because I don't know if you guys grew up with the marriage thing at home. But personally, my parents never got married.
here.
Because there's
My
women.
parents did.
Yeah. So is it something that you see going for yourself? You want to get married, Jace?
I do, but it's funny that you say the word unlearn because I have to unlearn some behaviors that I picked up from my parents' marriage. Although they've made it work and they're healthy and stuff, it was rough. Like, and I see a lot of my mom in me, right? And that's not a good thing. That's not a compliment.
It could be because you got a good heart. I bet that's what that means. You got a good heart.
I care a lot, but
That's me and
with
my mom.
that, it comes a lot of like a lot of hurt could come
Of
from that,
course.
you know,
Because
I
people
care too
take
much.
what is it, kindness for weakness.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I have to show you I'm not weak, and then I overcompensate, and I'm extra about stuff, just like my mom was, right? So that's why I say that.
Like you wait to blow up and then you blow up.
And now I'm not even a ticking time bomb. I'm like just a pressure bomb. You put a little pressure, and I'm exploding. Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's where I'm at right now, but I'm trying to,
I feel
reel
like
it
we're
back
just
in.
all learning.
I also feel, it's all a learning process, and I also
It
feel
is,
it's
it
really
is.
important to be aware. So even the fact that
Right.
you're aware is really big.
100%. The last guy I dated told me, he said, I like you, but I don't like your attitude. And I said, you know
You
what it
can leave.
is though, baby? I said, you don't have to fucking like my attitude. You just don't fucking take me there. That's all it is. But because
Right.
you're stupid.
But I think it's a lie. I think they do like it.
no, but see, that's the funny
Right.
thing because they say they love it,
It's
but then when
toxic.
they see it, they're like, oh, I don't fuck with it.
I love a
And
bitch
it's
that
like,
can stand up
baby-
for herself.
That's true.
It's like, baby, I don't take shit from nobody.
Everybody wants a bad bitch, but nobody can handle bad bitch.
I always fucking say that.
That's what it is.
You approach me, you talk to me in the moment that I got something to say. Oh, you're too bitchy. Like, you too extra. You too this. You too that.
Yeah.
I'm like, but you like that about
too
me.
opinionated.
Right.
But that attracts you to me,
Right.
but you can't handle it. And I always say that.
Shit
A
stink.
weak ass motherfucker cannot handle a bad bitch like us. Period. Let me get the little. Oh my
Legendary.
God. So it seems like, okay, so where do we all stand? Look, people always say on my channel that I bash men a lot. And I mean, let's clarify straight men.
Men suck.
Yeah. Right?
Cis straight men.
Cis straight men suck.
And I'm just like,
Just kidding. I do have some really nice straight
I do
men
too.
friends.
Oh, yeah. But it's very rare.
my uncle and my brother.
Just
That's
to,
it.
if I were to generalize,
Your
yes.
brother's the shit.
Y'all have hope. Y'all have hope in these men out here. Okay.
No.
I
You
mean,
don't have hope, Jace. I have a little bit of hope. I have like 15% hope.
I've I'll meet you there.
Right?
I'll meet
I don't know
you
if I
there.
can say all men.
100%.
No, of course not. Of course
there's
not.
a good chunk that
A
probably
good-
are gonna.
I'm hopeful that somebody will come around. That's exactly
But you know what?
I
Because
want.
that's how I felt about Father's Day. Like, why everybody's so quiet? Restaurants are not packed. Everybody.
When
I
you
was
asked me
door
last
dashing. It
week-
was packed.
And no,
When you
you
asked
know,
me last week,
who
can
said
you
it was
come?
Father's Day?
Me.
Yeah.
I
You
told
did.
you, I was like, oh, you're like, are you free on the 20th? And I was like, oh, that's Father's Day. Yeah,
But
I'm
nobody-
free. No problem. I was like, I'll be there. I had nothing to do that day. And what did I do? I did nothing all day today until I got here.
I texted my dad. He's not
Not
here
even
right
that.
now. My dad's not in the country. But
Happy
that's not
Father's
good.
Day, Dad.
Just to kind of go back to the whole Pride Month, I really want to know, because like I said, there is a lot of straight people. Well, let's not say straight, because y'all said not everybody's straight. But there are those asshole people that kind of just assume off of Pride Month, like they just want to throw on a shirt that has rainbow on it. I had to stop myself from doing that today. But I was like, no, like, so I really want to do the do's and don'ts. The month is going to end soon, but I also feel like in general, it's something that we should always know, even if it's not Pride Month. Like, what are some do's and don'ts when supporting the LGBTQT community?
LGBTQIA plus.
Okay, but I got the first ones right.
You got the
There we
first
Okay,
go.
letters.
okay. Do you know, I didn't go to school. I told you guys I didn't go to school. Like, I am the worst at pronouncing or saying anything. Like, my uncle gets a kick out of it. He's like, can you pronounce this word really quick? And I'm like,
Of course you would.
What's a for sure do, like, in a way that you can support without coming off as an ass?
Oh, donate.
Donate, okay?
Money.
Funds.
Money,
Yeah.
baby.
And small businesses, too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like definitely donate to any like trans funds, black gay funds, especially because these are the forefront right now that like they're the most endangered at the moment. So do that for sure. Educate yourself.
Right.
Learn, research. Like
Research.
it
I
takes
Googled.
Google. That's all it takes.
Right.
You guys know me forever. I mean well, and I don't want one comment or something said wrong for you to ever change your thinking on me because of me just not being educated. So I Googled, and I didn't even know that because of this month was celebrated because of a riot that went down in New York, right? And what year?
1969.
Yeah.
But before that, the Black Cat
Black
in
Cat.
1967.
You know by King, right there, El Pollo Loco?
Right there.
In
Yep.
Silver Lake?
Right.
Yeah.
That's the one that they went
That was
in
an
there
underground
and
gay club.
what the fuck? I didn't even know that. It was in
still
LA.
there.
I didn't see that.
Still there,
Even
yeah.
before Stonewall, that was.
And what
Yeah.
year was that? What was?
Ooh.
67.
They started arresting all the people. No,
I know.
What was in New York? Something happened
I
in
know
New
that,
York.
that
York
was
was the
what
riot.
sparked.
The riot, yeah.
1969. What's her name? Marsha
P. Johnson.
Johnson.
She is actually a trans woman who threw the brick.
they
right?
they think she threw the first brick. They're not sure. It was never
really?
confirmed. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's
Okay,
said
okay,
to be
okay.
that she threw the first brick, but yeah, she was like a forefront leader in the activism.
You know what it is?
that.
Not a lot of people know, and this goes all to ballroom culture. Like that's the place
Oh, ballroom
where
culture.
it all started with like
Absolutely.
trans, Black and Latino women, and it
And ballroom.
and ballroom, and that's
For ballroom, it's voguing culture.
Okay.
Not only voguing, but
You
there's
know-
categories. You walk categories to do all that, and
Right.
underground started in
it was
in
a
New
safe
York.
place to be at, where I mean, literally, you name it. Like, if you want to add on to like what the ballroom culture is like different houses. What these different houses are is just like different families, and everybody has different stories, and it's just different people who like being kicked out for being who they are.
But they
and
find
et
each
cetera.
other. It's like that's where the term like chosen family. It's
Exactly.
like we chose. You find our chosen
Oh
family.
yeah, a blood don't make you family.
Right. I've always said that too.
Yeah.
But in the ballroom culture too, there's like, so with those families, they would walk the ball. They'd walk different categories like executive realness, which they're just trying to pursue, be these things that like society will never let them be.
Right.
So like the realist person that looks like they can really be an executive person would win that category. Or like face, which is like clocked, unclocked, quote unquote.
That's clocked or not clocked.
No, I didn't know that. I'm learning now.
So clocked is like if you
like
know,
snatch, like you good.
No, baby. Clock meaning like I can tell like if you were a trans girl and you.
Oh, I can tell you're- I can tell you
trans
used
girl,
to be-
baby.
yeah.
You're not passing.
Right.
You don't pass that as a
You got clocked.
cisgendered woman.
Yeah, so you clocked.
So you go, I'm clocking you.
Yeah.
Like you're not real. That's what that, and there's all the
You know,
toxicity in the
it's
culture
dirt-
too.
It's a place where like, but see, that's where it is. Like ballroom culture is very straightforward. If, you know, obviously judges are going to keep it real, but it's only kept it real because it's like that's how it is. Like we already get shit from society. It's just like shit don't face us no more.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a society out here already giving us a hard time.
Exactly.
What more can we take? And we still take, and we're just like we still come on top at
Very
the end
resilient.
of the day. So
Damn.
if a bitch
See,
wants to
this is
talk,
this is exactly what I wanted. I didn't even know there was a whole story to it,
the history,
or a
yeah.
background, the history.
that's propaganda. That's literally every company just making money off
Yeah,
of putting a rainbow flag.
yeah.
That's
It's
all it is.
ridiculous.
How do you guys feel about that? Because I did get a rainbow balloon.
No, it's
No,
fine.
it's not that.
Yeah.
It's just like
It's when people are trying to capitalize off it. It's
Right.
like,
which
and
a lot
then
of companies do.
June 1st happens. Everyone's
Oh, like
logo is rainbow.
Yeah, I got like a email from like this weed MJ, the weed cannabis, and yeah, they're like, oh, our collection, and it was all rainbow.
They're trying to capitalize up. They don't care. No one
They
cares.
don't care.
They're just trying to bring in more revenue
if they
for
want to do
themselves.
anything involved, you know, I know Shake Shack is part of like if you actually spend money, they're donating money.
See, that's different.
That's
Okay, yeah. What are some
approach.
companies that are also do we know any of these? Because I just stopped eating Chick-fil-A because you posted
Not
that the other day.
InNOut, not
I have not
Chick-fil-A.
had Chick-fil-A. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. InNOut actually has verses in the bottom of their paper bags.
So does
Yeah,
Forever
that's
21.
been. Yeah.
I did have InNOut. I did.
No, it's fine. No,
It's fine.
But now that we're aware,
I'm not policing
Baby.
nobody. Ask questions.
Yes.
Don't be afraid to ask questions. It's okay if you don't know.
even asking what you guys identify as is really important.
It's so important.
Yeah,
Ask people their
right.
pronouns.
It's polite.
Don't
Yeah.
assume someone's pronouns.
It's
Don't be
polite.
like, oh, they look like a boy, so I'm just gonna say,
No,
do you go
really
by he?
though.
But also, it is practice,
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
100%.
right? Like, what do you guys feel like needs to improve?
To me, why you gotta make a big deal out of it?
Right? Why gotta be no?
If I'm not hurting you, if I'm not, you know, like I'm
like
not
we said,
causing
bringing
harm.
it up.
Yeah,
Like I don't like that. It's like why do you care about me so much that you feel the need to start talking shit or trying to like harm me or put me down because I'm not straight because I don't look like you, because I
Because
don't walk like you,
you're
because I
not
don't
the
talk like
norm.
you.
The norm
I'm
is
not,
like
quote unquote
the
normal.
norm.
It's not fair.
Yeah.
I'm not bothering you. I'm not talking to you. I'm not even looking at you. And you're going out of your way to like try to harm me and my friends and my community for what? Live your life, I'll live mine, and that's all it should be. We can coexist, no
Right.
problem. But people choose not to.
And don't go into our communities trying to cause trouble. Like I remember one time when I just moved back from Boston, I went to WeHo, did my little gay thing, and I was excited. And then I see a guy, and I'm like looking at him, right? And then we're looking at each other. And then he goes, "What the fuck, dude? What the fuck are you looking at?" And I'm like,
Oh my
"Hold
God.
up, you're in my home.
Honestly.
If anybody comes, if you try to fuck me up, I would hope that everybody just rallies, right?
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I don't know that.
You don't.
100%.
I don't know if anybody's gonna do
100%.
that, you know? So I literally was like, oh my God, let me not look. Okay,
I've
clearly
never-
we hold straight now.
I've never understood that. Straight people who show up in WeHo is West Hollywood.
They're-
Right?
That's
Why
our
is it
safe
security
They're queer baiting.
straight?
They're totally queer baiting.
Exactly. And it's like, motherfucker, you're pulling up in a community where everybody is everything, you know? How are you going to come in so defensive?
Right.
You coming into a place where it's not your place, be respectful.
Exactly, like
Sit your
you
ass down.
applied, like you applied for the position, so you know exactly where you're
Exactly.
applying.
Right.
So,
But
like
you
I
know-
said, he might love it, but he
But you
he's
know-
probably
Read the terms and
homophobic.
conditions.
I feel every person that's homophobic is because in reality you want to
Yeah, right.
you want to live that life that you were never
100%.
accepted to live, or you will never you feel like your family or people will never accept you.
Right.
And you know what it is? Their mentality is just like, oh, they gonna be girls there, and it's like, nah, homie.
That's another problem
Everybody
thing.
really?
That's another problem thing. Yeah, a lot of straight guys will go to WeHo.
They're like, oh, they love the gays, so they gonna be there.
Like the guys will be all over me. I'll get some attention there, or like the girls, like they're like I can pick up a girl there because the girls wouldn't often be with their gay friends,
Right.
like in the straight girls, and so they'll go and pick up a girl there.
That's kind of irritating.
It's
I mean,
And I feel like that just shows how insecure they are, though.
Exactly.
You gotta go to someone else's house to
Yeah.
no, really though. Like, where's your game at, homie?
Seriously.
You really came out here by yourself?
No,
Right,
Dude, no.
You know what's funny? Some homies do be like, "Oh, where your friends at?" And I'm like, "Yeah, where they at?" Because clearly you ain't with them. So
Right.
no, because they
You're not
kinda be
hanging out with
like-
me.
Yeah.
exactly. Like, you know, I've been interacting with people, like people from like, you know, old when I went to school with or whatever. They be really coming at me like, "Oh, where your friends at?" And I'm like, "Well, they living their life. What about you?" And they're like, "You're not gonna hook me up." And then they go like, "Nah." And then I'm like, and then I interrogate them, and then I'm like, "Well, where's your game at? Step up."
Exactly.
And it's just like, you just looking mad ugly, and it's just like, nah, I mean, like,
Mad
you ain't
ugly.
shit
Yeah,
to begin with.
period.
Right.
And then two, where's your game at, baby? Because clearly, I mean, if
And you know what's
asking-
sad? That people literally live their life like this out loud. Like you
That's
really
what I
out
like.
loud be ain't shit ass motherfucker, and you cool with that. Feel bad for your mother. Yes.
I never came out.
Period.
I never felt the need to.
Right.
Yeah.
I never
Okay,
felt like
yeah.
I never
You
felt
know
like-
what?
do
That
it.
is true.
I came out to two people. I came out, honestly, the first time I came out was to my mom in 7th grade. And I texted her and I
so
said,
cute.
I was like, cause she was her now husband. He used to live like 3 houses down. And so she would go sleep there every night. And so then one night I was like, you know what? I'm over this. I'm over like keeping it in. So I texted her one night when I was taking a shower. It's like 11 PM. And I was like, you know what? I don't think I like girls. And her response to me was like, that's fine. Like, no problem. She's like, just don't experiment. And me, 12 years old, was like, what?
Oh,
Don't
yeah, you're
experiment.
12.
Yeah, and she was like, nothing, never mind, good night. Next morning, we woke up, she took me to go see a Broadway show. And like, we never talked about it. We just never talked about it. I wrote it down to my grandma on a piece of paper, and that's it. And like everyone else in my family, I just never said anything. Because like, I don't have to.
Exactly.
You don't. And I feel
I
like
never did. And like, I would just bring home like a boyfriend or whatever, and they'd be like, this is like, and they'd be like, oh, okay. Because
Okay.
I just never felt the need to be like, I need to have this conversation with you. It's like, no, because I felt like we should all just be coexisting no matter what.
Yeah.
Why is an issue? Why do I need to bring it up?
And a real parent knows their kid.
My mom been you. I was like,
my parents be in denial, but it's like, bitch, you know, you were the
I
first to know.
was 7 years old wearing sequin and
Yeah.
pom poms.
Baby.
And she take it to practice.
And my mom would be like front row watching me perform.
No,
Aw,
100%.
so would you say that it was very supportive, at least for you and your
I've never, nothing from my family has been unsupportive at all, ever. No,
you? What is your ethnicity? Like, what do you mix with?
I'm black and Mexican.
Black and Mexican. So, just a quick question: are you first gen or second gen?
We're like a couple gens in.
Yeah, exactly.
I think my great grandmother was the one that came from Mexico.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes that has a big part in a lot of things.
We've
Like,
been in California for a minute.
Yes.
Since like the 20s, I think.
I feel like that's also what helps a lot of family members be more open. I'm technically second gen because my mom was born here, but my dad was not. But he came at age of 6. But I also feel like sometimes with pressure, like I know a lot of people that have pressure in a lot of things, their sexuality, their goals, their future, because they are the first here. So I also feel like that can, I don't know if that's true, but I feel like that also has a play compared to someone that's traditional as fuck.
I was the only one that in our family that was openly gay since that I knew of, and he died during the AIDS pandemic. So, and he got AIDS, he contracted it from whatever happened, but he died 3 years before I was born. So when it came down to like me saying something, I was like, I don't want her to like relive that because she lost her brother, 3 years before I was born. And that same year she lost him, she had my uncle, who's now about to be 30, and he is also gay. And so I'm sure that we didn't want her to feel like,
Right.
But I also like to say that my uncle is my grandma's brother, like reincarnated, because he died in 91 and my uncle was born in 91, and they liked so much of the same things. It's ridiculous. They're both photographers. They loved photography. They both loved art.
Oh, that's so creepy.
It was crazy.
It's true genetics, bro. And like that's not the first I've heard where people like someone dies and then someone's born and it's like it's a sad day but it's a beautiful day, you know? Wow, well good for you, Derek. That's a blessing. That's really a blessing that a lot of people don't have. Jace, if you feel comfortable sharing.
Well, I grew up in the church, so I grew up very Pentecostal Christian. So I don't know if you two remember me like
100%.
putting God bless you at night,
preaching to us Herbalife and everything
all the time. Blah blah blah. I was a pastor's child, right? So I grew up sheltered, but I was lucky to have communities where I was allowed, like, or safe spaces where I was allowed to be myself, like Drill Team. Drill Team was my safe haven.
Yep.
Like I didn't know that there was something wrong
For all
with me.
of us.
Which there isn't nothing
There's
wrong
nothing.
with me. But society
It wasn't
would
just
say,
Drill Team, honestly. It was that team specifically.
Yes.
Maybe.
It was that team.
There was something
Baby, if you wasn't another drill team, you wasn't gonna get what you
Because if I
got with
was
Miss
another
Torres.
drill team,
You was whack. You're absolutely right.
Taurus is family. Like she
It
made
wasn't-
sure
Yes.
It
she
wasn't
put her heart and sweat so it created
It wasn't a
family.
transaction to her. It was never a transaction to her.
Oh,
It was
no.
always
Family,
taking care
unity.
of you,
Absolutely.
always,
Oh,
of
she
each
loves
other.
you guys. She loves you guys a lot.
She really does. No, she really, yeah.
Different kind of love.
Shout out Taurus. Yeah, you guys are her babies.
No, definitely. But
So
yeah,
drill team.
So Drill Team was the reason why I was able, and I think back, I'm like, why was I always so myself? You know, because now I have trouble with that. Like being like as an adult, it's harder for me.
It's because when you're a kid, you have no worries. Like you're just being you. I mean,
Well, you
sometimes it's
felt
scary.
safe.
Yeah,
I felt safe.
Yeah.
I had somewhere where I was celebrated,
And you were on your own.
and if anything, people wanted me to just say, "Motherfucker, you're gay." Just own it. You know,
We all
I remember
tried.
what day
We
I
tried for
came
too
out.
long.
I tried for too long. I remember the day I came out. I see this bitch and
Baby.
another bitch over there, like,
Well, because it was like a celebration. It was like,
It was.
It's about motherfucking time.
it was. It
I wasn't there. I was
was.
gone, huh?
You were
I
gone,
graduated. Shit.
Yeah.
you're like fuck. I
Yeah.
missed that.
No, you were there. It was when
the
every- it was the celebration
whole
routine.
collaboration routine.
Oh.
And I did the little death drop, the little.
And then he
dance.
sat in front of everyone.
Yeah, yeah. So that's how I came out.
And then everyone was like, fuck, finally.
Why? Everybody was like, wait, weren't you gay?
Yeah, like
Right.
you already know.
Everybody was so confused.
Elaine was like, huh?
Right. But to me, Elaine was. But I guess I never thought about like Derek said, I never felt like I had to come out because I didn't see straight people coming out. So what the fuck? I don't have to come out.
Yeah,
You know?
period.
So then, and also on top of that, having a twin brother, and we didn't come out until after all of us graduated high school. So when I was finally
God.
18, none of us talked about being gay. No, and I remember
In the house, right? In your
I
house.
remember little volleyball
None of
Kevin.
None of us. It was taboo, right? Because we were Christian, and that was something they could use against us. If mom, Jason's gay, or mom, Kevin's gay, like you know. And I didn't want that, right? Because then I'll get my ass whooped.
Yeah.
Period.
But there came a point where I went to college, right? And I went to the gayest city in the
She
world,
said,
San Francisco.
"Bye-bye, baby."
And I lived my
Like
best
Castro.
gay fucking life. I was feminine as fuck, and I tapped into the most
I know. I visited him for a week.
Oh
That
yeah,
shit
you
was-
saw me at
that
my
shit was
worst.
gay.
He's
It's okay.
But I
Gay.
was super gay. Then when I went to Boston, I toned it down. Right, it's a journey. Gender's a journey. You
Very
figure out
much
different
so.
things about yourself, and because growing up, we're not allowed to explore different things because we have to be a version of ourselves to protect ourselves. It's all about safety, right? Then when we come out, people are like, "Why are you so extra?" Cause bitch, I never got to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I never got to
Yeah.
be. This has been holding, and now I'm letting it out.
Exactly.
Right?
That's 100.
But
yeah,
then
yeah.
people are always like, "Oh my god, I don't like that shit." I don't. Well, guess what?
not
You're
for you
very
to like.
privileged. It's not for you. And I'm growing
not
up
for
to
you.
be like, I'm not for everyone, and that's okay.
Exactly.
And everyone's not for me, and that's okay.
I say that shit all the time.
It comes with the privilege. Yeah.
Right. Just love one another and just be cool. If you don't fuck with me, okay.
Then you
Look
fuck
the
with
other
me.
way. Walk
Exactly.
away.
Right.
People
Not a
have a
big
hard
deal.
time though. They be acting like they be getting paid for it.
Right.
Mind
It's
the
your job,
business.
really?
Mind the business that
Right.
pay you, bitch.
How you
Because
gonna
I ain't
hey
paying you.
ho? Bitch, you gonna pay
Hey, well, you can't even get in.
Right? Do I have your social?
Dang.
Bitch, how you gonna hey ho?
Do you have
Bitch,
my
on
tax ID
payroll.
number?
Okay.
But long story short, my parents either you accept all your 3 kids for who they are, or you got no motherfucking kids. Point blank, period.
Oh.
So they
So that kind of helped,
that
right?
helped. That helped
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot. But I never said, "Hey, mom, I'm gay." No, I said, "Hey, this is."
Be just kind of accept it as y'all went with the flow.
I moved away from home, but see, the thing is just like I didn't move just because I moved, but in the process of like me living on my own with like roommates, with living with Sarah and stuff, I got to know myself. So my mom, you know, she knew all along. Baby.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
5 years old.
Well,
Like, I mean, my mom has always been like, I've always loved dancing. My mom is, you know, she's a dancer herself.
Yes.
I mean, my mom was dancing punta at the club with me in the womb.
you dance
okay?
punta real good.
I learned punta from you.
Here it is.
Oh my God.
I did.
Let me tell you.
I'd watch you on the floor. I'd be like, I gotta look like that.
Right.
Up and down. Up and down.
Yeah.
Since the get-go, like I was 5 years old, crisscrossing my muscle t-shirt trying to be Selena, okay?
Oh my God, cutie.
No, really though. I would put on the VHS Amsterdam live performance. I would mimic every single move of her. So it's just like full circle. It's just like, you know, I really discovered myself through her in the sense like I recognized my talent. And then when I grew a little older, I was like, oh shit, this is for real. Like I'm good at this shit.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's been all expressive throughout. But I mean, my mom have always been like, you know, you are what you are. She never really questioned it in the sense like I never had that like, oh yeah, I'm gonna sit down and, you know, mom, like this is who I am. I never got that. And then I never felt like I needed to, because she was just like, you are, you are. It never really mattered. And we've always, in the household, we've always been fucking 100% with each other, and you know, and I feel like that's just obvious in general.
Like, period.
We just don't
Give a fuck.
we don't filter ourselves, and we don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Period. So when it came to like me moving away, it was just like, you know, I was once a guy, and then now coming around, I started getting a little more feminine. But my mom never really questioned it, and then
She just saw it unrolling. She's like, okay.
no, really though, and that was literally everybody. And you know, it's crazy because even my grandma saw it, and it's just like, and she, you know, she's taught through the old way.
Yeah.
And then now my grandma, even yet to this day, she's like, oh, ¿verdad que si sos mujer now? You know, and it's just like
That's awesome.
people who fuck
This
with
is
you
your
will fuck with you, and they
Right.
will love you unconditionally,
Yeah.
no matter what the situation
Support,
will be.
support.
Absolutely.
So
Yes.
when that unraveled, I remember like me tapping into like my first ever time wearing a dress, wearing makeup. It was my first time going to the club with my mom and my family for my cousin's birthday. And then she started seeing like guys like, you know, like, oh damn, who's this girl? And my mom would be like, oh yeah, that's my daughter, like what's up? And she's like, you know, that's my daughter, like, you know, respect.
You guys, you know, that's such a blessing. Just having even my, not dumb shit, but like compared to you guys is something so small. But even being a podcaster, right? Like just to have family support is the best fucking feeling.
Yeah.
100%.
You know, like it is the best feeling, and it is hard for people to just accept. So shout out to all your family members for just accepting and
100%.
supporting, because that is like the biggest relief. Like,
Yeah, 100%. Because
know?
you're already getting bullshit from community.
Right.
yeah.
So it's like, you know, coming to a place where like this is your family, this is who you live
And
with.
she said,
Right.
"Baby, that's my
People that matter the most.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
exactly.
exactly. That because you grew up that way, so in your
Right.
head, you want to please in a way, like you don't want to
course,
disappoint your parents. So
of
coming from the
course.
people that kind of raised you,
Yeah.
hearing that, I'm sure is the best feeling.
Oh, of course. But see, I never saw it in a way where like I felt like my family was gonna be against it. I never felt like that sense of like. Oh,
I
they're
think
not
that
gonna
has a
take me
lot to
for
do with
one
people
thing.
being themselves. Like it starts at home. You know, we
baby,
talked about this.
I talk about guys with my mom. I'm like, yeah, look what he sent me, and I be showing them news to her, and she like, damn.
Your mom.
I'm telling you, like, I'm mad comfortable with my family. Even my grandma, she's
I
like,
love that.
Dios guardia.
I love it.
Family being so supportive is really a big thing, and we encourage like family members to just accept. You know who you got. It's like when you go to the school and be like, "Oh, your kid threw a rock at that other kid." Not my son. You could start there. You could start accepting that your son will throw rocks at his head.
Or
Like-
what was the reason?
Yeah, like parents are so like in denial, and it's like I promise you, you are enabling and hurting your own child by being in denial.
100%.
So accept your children, love your children, because at the end of the day, like our parents are like our little heroes. That's all we know growing up is our parents. Like we said, we thought it was so normal, right? All the shit they was doing and shit. And you're like, damn, mom, I'm going to jail because he told me it was normal.
Oh my God. Be accepting of people within your community.
Okay, I
'Cause
was
there's a
gonna ask
lot-
that.
There's a lot
Like,
of hatred.
how is that?
There's a lot of hatred.
Or
within the
judgy?
community.
Is it judgy?
Just based on
Very,
like,
very
you don't have this
catty.
body type. You don't look like this. You don't look like that. You speak like this. You're this short. You're this tall. You're trans. You're not trans. Or there's just so much discrimination within it that can be unpacked for hours, days maybe. But just like stop looking at that and look at like this is like your family. Like we have already been the outcast.
Right.
Why are you going to
Why you
continue
keep
to
doing
oppress?
it?
Exactly.
Why are you going to continue to do that for what? Who was it benefiting?
Nobody.
Because what you fit into the mold of what society thinks a good gay person should look like.
That's
No, not with that.
period.
Stupid. So shut up and start.
Period.
Just accept yourself.
Yeah.
I think the moment you accept yourself and love yourself and be happy that you don't give a fuck about nobody else.
Right.
Like, not to sound selfish, but it's like,
No.
when you're yourself and you're confident, I really don't care who's next to me. Like, you're in your own lane, you know? It doesn't matter. And I think that's a big thing. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, the bad bitch next to you could be so bad, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But that was really good. I really appreciate you guys. We're definitely gonna do this again. I know all the listeners and the viewers are really gonna appreciate this, y'all. Like, I really, I feel like it was deep, but I feel like we made it very fun and very nice to you fuckers out there, because like people will be like, you guys are really nice about everything, and it's just like, just educate yourself. I think it came down to that. Like, educate yourself and love yourself so you're able to love other people. Because if you hating on me, it just tells me you hate yourself. And y'all gotta fix that, right? Like they gotta fix that, because we out here living our best life. You guys know everything you guys mean to me. I love you guys. I've known you guys forever, and I love like just seeing you guys' faces as you guys talk. I'm just like, I can't believe I knew you. And you guys look so beautiful. You guys are powerful, empowering, and I'm sure that everyone's gonna appreciate this. Let the viewers know where they can find you.
Baby, you can find me at Instagram, Missskay, 3 S's, We Sexy Savage, you know what I'm saying? MISSSKAY.
Okay. You can find me at Jasson Soto, JASS, 2 S's, ONSOTO.
Okay.
Good. Okay. You can find me on Instagram at Derrbearr, DERRBEARR, and also at DerekParis.com.
Period.
Oh, he's got a website. All right.
Y'all already know exactly what the fuck it is. It's your girl Nessa Nandes, and you know we on the real, the ratchet, and the motherfucking reckless. Don't forget to let your mama know, your tia know, and your abuelita know that the real, the ratchet, and reckless is where the fuck is at. We signing out.
Hey.